Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Empire Bratok versus Slider here on Ohana. A Terran versus Protoss matchup as Bratok has spawned as the yellow Terran player here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile Slider is the green Protoss here on the top left hand side of the map. Terran versus Protoss, game 1 in a series. Don't want to spoil anything for you guys, since I'm sure a lot of you guys can see how many games I do put up as opposed to me casting live. Now, one thing I do want to apologize for is sometimes I do cast when I'm tired. It feels like in order for me to have a productive day, I need to cast a game or two in order to just have that on my to-do list. Now, sometimes my games are not up to snuff, and I do end up putting up a little bit of a lower energy replay than I would like, but hopefully you guys are still enjoying the games even when I do make a little bit of wordy mistakes. Now, on a map like Ohana, I'm interested to see what the strategy will be. Will we see that very, very fast Terran expansion, perhaps a 1-rax expand with or without gas? And will we see perhaps a 1-gate expand coming in from Slider? Both strategies are viable, as the game has really taken into a much more economic route as of late. It really feels like Blizzard has shut down much of the early harassment, nerfing Reapers back in the beta, nerfing Blue Flame Hellions 2 years ago or a year and a half ago at MLG Anaheim, and now increasing the Queen range as well, especially against Zerg. It looks like Slider will be going for a 1-gate and should be getting up that Cybernetics core. Okay, sorry, can't tell if that's a plane or my phone. We'll be getting up a Cybernetics core as well. We can see a barracks already placed down, and I forgot to set this to away. Hi, Warcow. Congratulations, you messaged me in the middle of a cast. There is your 3 seconds of fame for all 1,500 or 2,500 people who are ever going to watch this. Alright, so Gateway and Cybernetics core coming in. Both sides looking to do a much more tech-routed or tech-route build. So I wouldn't be surprised if we perhaps saw a delay in terms of expansions. But no, what is this Slider now quickly going to be placing down a Nexus after this? And will Bratok stick around to find out what will be built? I have sometimes seen a Protoss player cancel the Nexus after the SCV is taken out and then transition into a 4-gate. The 4-gate will be a little bit slower if that happens, but it still catches many players off guard as they try to either establish an expansion of their own or go for very, very high tech. Bratok looking to go into the very, very high tech route this time around, and with that second factory, it looks like it will be cloaked Banshees. Now, as long as Slider gets up that robotics facility, he should be fine. Getting up that second gateway, I hope he does not warp in any more than 1 extra gateway before robotics facility. Otherwise, he will be significantly late on his observer, and he will not be able to deal with what I believe to be a cloaked Banshee play coming in. Now, on the front door, we can see that there are a group of Marines here, 4 Marines, and what Bratok can do is he can play a little bit of a mind game. He can place a bunker down here and make it look like he is trying to expand. If it looks like an expansion, perhaps he will catch his opponent out of position there. As you can see, that the bunker has been scouted out by Slider. Slider really playing in the dark. He perhaps thinks that an expansion is coming in when it is not, but he is still getting up his robotics facility before getting up that gateway. Very, very key, and I do believe that Bratok's cloaked Banshee play will pretty much fall short. Alright, Harvester advantage 28 to 23. Slider also benefiting from less diminishing returns, and as long as this stays up and operational, the longer this game goes, the better it will be for Slider, as Bratok is the one that needs to deal damage. You can see that the Banshee is now making its way out, but surprisingly, we are not going for Cloak. So this is just straight up Banshees, not cloaked Banshees. We're going to see 2 Banshees trained up, and then perhaps we will see a swap on the reactor and the starport, a variation on the 111 without cloaked Banshees, as we're going to see the Marines now fall back. There is one observer making its way down across the field. And if this Banshee can get in a lot of kills, that would be very, very helpful. As long as he can get 5 kills, he will have paid for himself. But Slider, already with 3 Stalkers in position, has other plans for that Banshee, perhaps simply some rubble. Alright, Banshee now looking to make sure or maneuver its way in. This is not looking good at all for Bratok. Is Bratok going to be coming in? And there you go, sees the Stalkers and very smartly retreats. The problem, though, is that he is still behind economically, and he still has no command center being built at all. Harvester count is now 41 to 28. Banshee now going to be taking on a Stalker in midfield. It looks like that Stalker will end up getting destroyed. Oh, one more shot is all it needs, and it cuts a corner and gets taken down. So, a little bit of an expensive kill there, but the Banshee was able to deal the damage, and now we do see a slight retreat and regrouping with these 2 Banshees. There are no longer any Banshee or any Stalkers at the main base any longer, so if the Banshees actually try to do a run there now, that would be pretty effective. SCVs not on auto repair here. Stalkers, oh, this could be a very, very bad position here as the Stalkers are going to engage against the Banshee once more. SCVs are on auto repair, and are they going to push through? Yes, it is. This is a medevac-less push here, as we are now just seeing Marines, Siege Tanks, and Banshees. This is pretty much an all-in push. Bratok needs to deal damage, and lots of it, for anything to really happen. Bratok knows that he didn't get the necessary damage in. Marines are going to perhaps try to test the waters. And where are these Banshees looking to go? Hasn't spotted anything yet. Siege Tanks playing hopscotch and leapfrog all the way up, trying to make sure to cover each other. You really need one more Siege Tank in order to round out the leapfrog game. And here we go. There is that second Siege Tank. 3 Banshees now looking to come in as the destructible rocks. Oh, some damage being dealt as the Banshees now looking to damage here. SCVs, Siege Tanks on the low ground, Marines, Banshees trying to engage still. Immortals quickly getting focused down. Hardened shields all being destroyed as the Marines are now trying to focus down here. With still 1 Siege Tank on the low ground. And oh, the Immortal with a range of 6, able to get off a nice shot here. Now with no longer any Banshees in the air, there is no additional cover up onto the high ground. The SCVs should perhaps just be on auto repair at this point, as the units are making their way up. Slider still with a slight economic advantage. Here we go, Siege Tanks, Banshees, Marines, and how much damage can be dealt here? It looks like the one Immortal will get taken down. Another Immortal needs to get taken down here as the Immortal is trying to push its way in. SCVs are trying to repair. It's not going to be able to do it, and I believe Slider is going to be able to hold this off. Is the salvage going to go down in time? Yes, it was salvaged in time there, as Bratok now down by about 34 supply. Excuse me, 34 supply now. And things are not looking good. The only way Bratok can lose is if Slider overcommits in this next fight. There's only 2 Siege Tanks here. If we can get another building positioned right here, perhaps that will be enough. And there is only 1 Immortal. Stalkers are grouping together, and that was going to be a very, very bad day, as Bratok now looking to see if he can actually destroy some workers. Let's take a look at the overall losses. Losses is 32 versus 2675. Even though the losses are relatively even, Slider has a much stronger economy, meaning that he can actually afford those losses. Now, command center is being placed down by Bratok. It is not yet mining. No observers inside the base, as a Banshee now looking to come in and get awesome shots. Only 1 kill there. It is now transitioning over here to the natural expansion. How much damage will it look to do as Bratok tries to fly away? Oh, it looks like it will get shot down here, down to 10 hit points, and ever barely escaping. We can see that there is a Raven nearby. I like the play by Bratok to get a Raven. One of the units that Terran players often don't utilize enough. I do believe that Raven, I wouldn't really call it a Raven buff. I will call it a Raven incentive. Pretty much saying, hey, Ravens really aren't that bad here. Let me adjust the numbers slightly to make them look better, and perhaps more people will use it. And that is what players are trying to test out now as a factory on the move. All right, we now see a much more traditional Terran opening. 3 barracks with starport and a reactor. There is 1 auto turret here. Auto turrets have a very long life. Unfortunately, they are not mobile, and cost a little bit more. Mules still coming back over here, costing more compared to Infested Terrans, as Slider now up on 3 bases. Slider playing very, very solid Protoss versus Terran here, knowing that he doesn't need to attack or just blindly lose units. If Slider can get into 100 or get an additional 70 supply, he will be at max supply, and then he can start trying to trade 1-for-1 up against Bratok's army. And because he is up on bases, he'll be able to replenish his army faster, and because his army is going to be larger with about a 60 supply advantage, he can continue to do this. Immortal's now engaging Banshee, going to quickly get shot down here, or Immortal's going to quickly shoot down a Banshee here as auto turrets are going to get taken down. You can see Slider now trying to retreat as Bratok, without stim, not going to be able to catch up to all of these units here, and now Slider is forced to slide back home. Additional warp gates now being added. You can see a factory over here on the high ground. A third command center now coming in from Bratok. Bratok does have a lot of ground to make up, but he did manage to gain a little bit of momentum, even though his army is still significantly smaller. Stim, concussive shells. We are going into level 2 weapons upgrade, and it looks as though it's going to be 1-1, soon to be 2-2 upgrades against 0-0. No sign of any upgrades coming in from Bratok, and that is going to be a very, very bad day, as both sides now looking to perhaps do an exchange on bases. All right, this could be very bad news. The Marines, SCVs, pretty much an all-in here. That is a lot of SCVs in this fight, trying to take down these destructible rocks. The Slider spot the rocks going down? Yes, he does. And the siege tanks are going to be able to blast away at some of those units there very easily. One Zealot goes down, as another one takes a lot of damage. Here we go. SCVs now trying to come in. Zealots are charging in as well. SCVs need to get in the front position. Psystorm on top of a whole bunch of SCVs, and that is a lot of bio lost in just a matter of seconds. Beautiful Psystorms coupled with force fields, and Slider definitely going to get the GG here with a very, very use of spellcasters. And there we go. Bratok losing game 1 in this series to Slider. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1 in the series.